ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां दयाकरं दयाकारं दान्तं धर्मप्रवर्तकं प्रणमामि दयानन्दं मदाचार्यपरम्परम् ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयामदेवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेमदेवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। न कर्मणा न प्रजया धनेन त्यागेनैके अमृतत्वमानशुः। परेण नाकन्निहितं गुहायाम् विभ्राजते यद्यतयो विशन्ति। So the first two lines of the mantra are talking about how not to get moksha. Yeah, how to get moksha we know, how not to get moksha, and for that the three all the desires are clubbed into three. And what are they? Lokaishana, Putraishana and Vittaishana. Loka we have seen, Putra also we have seen, a desire to have somebody to in one's life as a prop, or many people, whatever it is, includes pets and social media followers and all kinds of things. This is all coming under Putraishana. Lokaishana we saw, some kind of a secure place, and it traditionally it is Swarga and other things, and in it can also be extended to wanting to have making reservations, wanting to have a place. Nothing wrong, but then nothing wrong in wanting to have a home, but then if we really look at Vedanta Shastra, the person without a home is the sannyasi, really. So that is the idea, that I don't try to secure my future. This is why finding out how I can become permanent somewhere in either this loka or other lokas. This loka also we have to include. Putra we have seen, all that, both of these we have seen in detail. Now Vitta Eshana, Vittaishana. The desire for wealth makes the whole world go round. The whole thing. At least before it was just gold. Gold was there and gold coins. Now we have something called cryptocurrency. That is also Vittaishana. Cryptocurrency. And sometimes there is Vittaishana also includes things that uh, that don't have any value, that used to not have any value, but now suddenly they have become valuable. How, why, don't ask, but they are very funny things. They are called NFT, non-fungible tokens. What that means, don't ask me, okay? Yeah. I only know this much. And then it's just one picture you put up on the internet. Not even that good looking a picture. Okay, and then you say this can be yours. Yours means what? It's already in the internet. But somehow they manage to sell you something which is very unclear how it is purchased, and which is very, very even more unclear how it is owned. Somehow they manage to sell you that. I think it's easier to sell snow to the Eskimos rather than doing this. Very strange, but that's how it is. That also comes under Vittaishana. Anything that I think is going to appreciate. And then I'm going to, then suddenly people have these ideas. I'm suddenly going to become rich. And in America, they have this a long stick with little something here. They go to the beach. Whole day they are going. These modern day beach combers. What are they doing? Metal detector. What do they find? Soda can, this thing, pieces of the soda can, or the top of the Coca-Cola bottles. That's what they find. What do they hope to find? Gold. Somebody has left a gold chain. Somebody has left a gold ring. Are they out of their mind? Why will they leave it like that? But this is the hope. Some buried treasure, somewhere it will be there. So whole day they keep going like this. And that blessed thing, that's also expensive. You have to invest in that first, and then whole day you keep going like that. Vittaishana. This is all secret ways. You may say, no, I'm not interested in money. But I am keeping on combing the beaches. So the beach combers, treasure hunters, and what is that? Yeah, let's not forget people who are crazy about antiques. Antique. So they go from place to place. And what looks to you like a broken jug, worth not even $1. And they buy that. And then they get it analyzed by various people. Maybe it belongs to the Ming dynasty, or maybe it is very, very expensive. And so like this, they are called, what is that called? Antique hunters, something like that. Antique hunters, these gold hunters in the beach, in the ground, somewhere, whatever. And then there are people who don't even leave the crematorium, not the crematorium, what is that? The burial grounds, they don't even leave that for free. They don't even leave that for the departed to be peaceful. They will go raid that. But how can they get money there? Sometimes the people may have a gold filling, which has not taken out. And then the body is buried along with the gold filling. So they are called tomb raiders. Tomb raiders, antique hunters, crypto people, hedge fund people. What else is there? And then the beach combers. All of these NFT people, all of these looking to make a quick buck by hook or by crook. This is all Vittaishana. This is how we have to see. And as long as these three Eshanas are there, moksha does not come anywhere near. Why? Because you are focused on trying to manufacture your own security based on these three desires. If you look at these desires deeply, desire for loka is a desire for security, is it not? Desire for people, is that not a desire for security? Yes. Desire for money is the desire for security. And why is the desire for security so rampant? It is because I have come to the conclusion that I am an insecure person. If you've already come to the conclusion because of self-avidya, self-ignorance, that you are a person who is what? Insecure, naturally insecure, this is your nature, then all these frantic attempts to become secure by amassing wealth, by amassing people, getting married, having children, whatever it is, by having one house in every city in the country. I want this house, I want that house, I want some security. So then this is completely in contradiction to what the meaning of moksha is. What is moksha? Discovering that you are the most secure being in this whole universe. You see, the premise is completely different. So the lifestyle of sannyasa, if it is vividisha sannyasa, and I'll explain in a minute what that is, if it is the sannyasa wanting to gain this knowledge. So sannyasa is of generally two kinds. Within that also there are some subtypes, which we will not go through the subtypes now. But generally two kinds of sannyasa: vividisha sannyasa, veditum ichha vividisha, the desire to know. Sannyasa taken or given by the guru to aid the student's desire to know is called vividisha sannyasa. Meaning, I have the permission now to drop all the roles and focus on this. Focus on discovering myself as the most secure being instead of trying to cook up security. I don't cook up security. So, so there is, you see how as long as I don't give up the props trying to make myself secure, then that security is centered on me, that the fact that the security is centered on me always escapes me. Because I have taken for granted that I am an insecure being. That I am insecure is taken for granted, and therefore I have to become secure. Any kind of a becoming is very unbecoming where we are concerned, because any kind of a becoming is fraught with a lot of action, karma, and then karma phala. Moksha is not in the realm of karma because it is siddha vastu. It is an already established fact. It is not sadhya vastu, it is not something to be gained. It is already gained. But I feel it is away from me because I do not know this. So how did these people get moksha? Not by progeny, not by karma, not by dhana, but only by one thing they got moksha. How did these sannyasis get moksha? Tyagena. By actually renouncing these very desires. Putraishana, lokaishana, vittaishana, which is these threefold desires which really speak to trying to become secure through these various portals of children, of wealth, etc. So only when the crutch is dropped do you know whether you can walk or not. If an able-bodied person comes to the conclusion that I like crutches and I am going to use crutches, suddenly I get the feeling I can't walk, this person says, and keeps using the crutches, then they have to be taught. No, you can walk. No, I don't think so. No, please try, you can walk. So first, in order to try whether they can walk or not, what do they have to do? Give up the crutches. Without giving up, how can they walk? How can they know whether they can walk or not? So too here, to discover that I am the source of security, I am in fact not at all insecure. I am secure. This security is centered on me. In order to understand that, I have to give up these props. When I give up these props, then only I am seeing that actually I don't need them at all. I don't need them. Why? Because the security that is centered on me is already there. Without children, I can be happy. Without money also, I can be happy. Without, what's the other one? Karma. Without being in the loop of karma phala, I can be happy. I don't have to manufacture security. So therefore, this lifestyle of, I wouldn't say minimalism, it's a lifestyle of not actively pursuing the security through these channels, through the well-known channels of wealth, progeny and action. When I stop doing that, then I see that actually giving up these activities gives more contentment than going after them. This is, of course, talking about sannyasis. Why is Lord Brahmaji talking about sannyasis? Because regardless of whether one wants to take sannyasa or not, everybody must have a modicum, anybody interested in Vedanta must have some kind of an inner sannyasa. Dressing the heart in an orange dress, that is what is needed. And that is symbolized by Tyaga, Vairagya here, growing out of the need for security. This kind of a pseudo security that one gets from surrounding oneself with people, surrounding oneself with karma, and going places in order to feel secure. So when that is not there, then only we can see whether the self is secure or not. Of course, this is along with the teachings. Along with the teachings, if I have to understand whether the self is secure or not, I have to give it a chance. I have to, what is indicated is Tyaga. You find the same sentiment in the Ishavasya Upanishad. Tena tyaktena bhunjithaha. You please protect the self by giving up things. What is the connection between protecting the self and giving up things? And so, accumulating things, you expose oneself. Here, self doesn't mean Satchidananda Atma, which doesn't need protection. Self means antakarana, ahankara. So the ahankara, avachinna chaitanya, this consciousness that is as though conditioned by the body, mind, sense complex, that self you protect. You keep it in a place where it is not completely mired in all kinds of pursuits. You protect it by giving up the pursuits. And when you give up the pursuits, what happens? Then you see that these pursuits were moot to begin with. How can you say that? How to live without money? Are you going to pay my bills? No, I am not going to pay your bills. Then why are you coming and telling me all these things? If you are not ready to pay my bills, then you should not tell me give up money. What right do you have to tell me give up money if you are not ready to jump in and write me a check every month? I don't need to write you a check every month. We can do something better here. We need to check. If you do really need a check, that is exactly what you need. No, but I have a lifestyle I have to keep up. Yes, and I'm getting, so somebody said, that there was one, some kind of a messy divorce between two celebrities. And so the woman said, no, I can't live without this income. I'm used to this much income. Why? Because I have baked goods flown from Paris every day fresh. And so for the plane and for everything I have to pay, and so I have to do that. So I can't, I need more money from the other celebrity who was the husband. I need more alimony. I can't do this. This was the argument. So what will we say? Your lifestyle should be in keeping with whatever the income is. And so here, that is why Pujya Swamiji would describe sannyasa, the ultimate ashrama, the last ashrama, as what? As the ultimate and the best retirement plan. This is the best retirement plan. What is fun about it? You grow out of your desires. You take your whole life, you grow out of the desires. And therefore, by the time you are ready to take sannyasa, you don't need much. You have trained yourself to not need much. In fact, even now you don't need much. You think you need much. Think of all the things you brought for the 3-month course. Here, how much are you using out of that? Not much. And even at home, look around. So many things are there. If some robbers came and took away half the things, you would not even notice. That many things will be there in every household. You won't even notice. And so, an exercise towards this tyaga would be to look around the house and all the unused things, all the things you are not using. What should we do? No, I won't be so drastic. Yeah. Put it in a box. Put it under the bed or in the attic somewhere. And if you don't miss it after 6 months, try to think of what's in the box in the attic. Try to do an inventory. I challenge you. You won't even remember what's in the box. And if that's the case, you can't even name 3 things in the box, in a full cardboard carton of things. If you can't name, that is when you give it away. That is when you give it away. And otherwise, things keep on getting accumulated. Accumulating. Like orange shawls in the city of Rishikesh. Anytime you are invited anywhere, the thing, whether it is summer, winter, autumn or spring, the gift that they think of is orange shawl for a Swami. But this is a gift that is very difficult to get rid of, because half the city is in orange and half the town is in orange. Everybody is wearing orange. Who are you going to give it to? If you try to give it to another Swami, they say, I have 10 of these in my room. Why are you giving me this? So you have to look for an unsuspecting visiting Swami and then give it to them. Like last year, with great difficulty, I gave away 2 shawls like this. The very next day, 2 more came. Okay? I rest my case. But this is the idea. The idea is it's not a life of poverty. It's not a life of deprivation. It's a life of growing out of addictions. That's what it is. Addiction to people, addiction to certain things I have to have, addiction to action. It's a program of de-addiction. It's kind of like the 12th step, you can say. Why is it like a program of de-addiction? It's a program of de-addiction because first you have to acknowledge I have a problem. That is the whole thing. What is the problem? I'm addicted to samsara, I'm addicted to reproducing the finite infinitely. Then the second admission is I have no control over this. I'm keeping on doing this as though I'm in some kind of a strange dystopia. Then the next thing to understand is that if I don't have control over it, I have to submit to a higher power. This is step number 3. In all these AA and everything like that, samsara addiction also is the same thing. And in fact, this whatever we are talking of might have been, this verse might have been the inspiration for AA and other such movements. Everything comes from the Veda, really, because it's one of the most ancient bodies of wisdom. I need help. I need help to get to the place of fearlessness with the path that I am going to embark, to not come under the influence of people who ask, how are you going to live? Oh my God, how are you going to live? You can't live like this. You need a nest egg. You need and then you politely tell them, no, I don't eat eggs. No, you need some kind of a security. Who will look after you? And then you will be nowhere. You will neither get moksha nor you will have a future. And of course, all these statements become very powerful because they hook into the deepest insecurity, the deepest fears. I will never be taken care of. Nobody will be there. I'll be just thrown out. I'll be on the road, on a park bench. I will not have anything. This is the fear, a primal fear, all due to addiction to duality, addiction to samsara, addiction to reproducing the security, which is called pishtasya peshanam. The security that's already there has to be discovered. But here I am reproducing the security, which is not necessary to do. It's a huge distraction. So tyagena, by this kind of an understanding, going through these steps of de-addiction and going through these steps, I have come to an understanding. Eke means a few, just ones. Eke, a few great ones. Amritatvam anashire, anashuhu chandasam. So amritatvam anashuhu anashire. Amritatvam means they gained immortality. Immortality means not dying 1,000 deaths every day. Deaths of scarcity, deaths of poverty mentality, deaths of all kinds of things. Not doing that. They rose above all this and they threw off the yoke of the wrong understanding. I am subject to death. I am as good as the body. And the body needs to be protected. Therefore, I need to make money. The mind needs to be protected. Therefore, for my emotional well-being, I need people around me. I like this. My life needs to be protected, so therefore I have to engage in action because the results of action are the most protective. These are all wrong thinking, all coming out of a sense of insecurity. But these people were able to kick samsara in the stomach and rise above this addiction to security, the addiction to people, wealth and karma. And then what did they do? The next line says that, so parena nakam. So parena nakam. Para is the ultimate. So parena nakam nihitam guhaya. So nakam we'll see. Kam is a word for Brahman. Kam Brahma. Just come, okay? And then akam means what? Not Brahman. Anatma, samsara. Akam is samsara. Kam Brahma, akam samsara, na akam. Brahman again. Double negative. Kam Brahma, kam also is Brahman. Kam is space, kam is Brahman. Kam Brahma, kam Brahma. This is a Brihadaranyaka Vakya. So very beautiful double negative. So what do we have? Kam, which is Brahman, Sukha and infinitude, freedom from want is Kam. Akam. Akam means samsara. Negation of Kam. Samsara means what? Feeling of bondage, notions of insecurity, all of them predominate and proliferate, and this is akam. Now that is dismissed, and now we have a new word, na akam, nakam. Nakam. So nakam, it's there in the Bhagavad Gita also, I think. Nakasya prishtham sukrute anubhutva imam. No, it's not in here. It's probably in Kathopanishad, not in Bhagavad Gita. Nakasya prishthe sukrutam anubhutva imam lokam hinataram va vishanti. So there nakam means heaven, some kind of a loka. Here, since the loka has already, we have to look at the words contextually. Otherwise, we will be in a fix. If we think, okay, there nakam means heaven. Here also what? This heaven it must mean. But here that heaven has been negated by na karmana na prajaya. The karma is for loka. So that loka has been negated here. So here it doesn't mean loka. Here it means Brahma eva lokaha, Brahma lokaha. That loka is the loka of Brahman. It's not Brahma loka where you go sit down and be taught by Brahmaji. That's not the loka. It is not away from you. It is in fact centered on you. And so here, this is the idea. And where is this loka? Where is this nakam? Nihitam guhayam. This clinches it. Nihitam guhayam. It is there, hidden in one's own heart. Guha is called buddhi. And we have already discussed why is buddhi called guha? Why is the buddhi called a cave? Because it is full of tamas, dark. It is full of bats of doubt, flying around, screeching. It's got stalactites of depression, stalagmites of insecurity and notions of bondage. This is the cave. Damp, it is damp with depression. And then all it needs is the light of the Shastra to show that Bhagavan is sitting within already. Before in the cave, Bhagavan was there or not? Yes. But not seen due to the ignorance. Due to embracing the ignorance, identifying as an ignorant person, wanting security, etc., I have not been able to see what is there plain in my own heart. The truth of myself resides in myself alone. It is not anywhere else. And to discover that, the outer props have to be given up. Nihitam guhayam. Where is this? Nihitam guhaya. So this guha is lighted up by the teacher wielding the camphor lamp. The camphor lamp is the Shastra that removes ignorance without a trace. We saw all this. This is how our temples are also designed. You go into the sanctum and that's how it is. It's all dark. Until the Murti is lighted up, please have darshan. And then they will light up the whole thing from head to toe. And that's what it is happening within. This is what is to be understood. So, what is that? Nihitam guhayam vibhrajate. Vibhrajate means that guha now is what? Shining. That guha is shining. Shining with the light of Shastra. Shining with self-knowledge, no more ignorant of oneself. And then these yatis means yatnashilaha, the people who are very much striving in the right way. Correct striving is yatnashilaha, yatayaha, because you can strive by karma, by praja, by dhanam. No, not that kind of striving. The proper striving through understanding the truth of oneself. These yatayaha, these yatis, these siddhas, these people who have understood the truth of themselves, as though enter the cave which is now lit up with the shastric knowledge, which is lit up with the Mahavakya Tattvamasi, Aham Brahmasmi, Prajnanam Brahma, Ayamatma Brahma, Etad Vaitat. All these Mahavakyas, so many are there, even though we have quoted just a few main ones. All of these, one has, as it were, entered the heart space, meaning abiding in that heart space. Abiding deep within oneself, because there is no more outer activity that is exciting. Because the samsara is like a dry gourd. It doesn't have anything to give me. Before, was it a dry gourd or not? Even before it was a dry gourd. Before Atmajnanam also it was a dry gourd. Now also it's a dry piece of gourd. But before, what did I do? I sat in front of it and tried to cut it and make sabji out of it. And it was very untasty. And then what? Then I looked at it and prayed, may it become juicy. Then also it was useless. Before also it was a dried gourd. It's not that suddenly after seeing the uselessness it has become a dried gourd. Then if it is a dry gourd, then why is everybody after it? Because they do not know. They are trying to fix this, to make it more juicy. And when they can't, what are they doing? They are chewing it and saying at least it has some fiber, it's good for health. And they are eating this. This is how people are dealing with samsara. This is the problem. And so, what do I have to do? I have to see this, that this was always a dried gourd. Now my eyes are open. I am seeing the samsara is actually nissara. A little alliteration here. Yeah, it is nissara. Nissara means dried gourd. It doesn't exactly mean dried gourd, it's the essence of it. It has no truth. Nissara. It is void of essence. Essence sara rahita. Nissara. There is nothing it can give me. So I stopped trying to press this dried gourd to get some juice, to make my smoothie. I stop engaging with this dried gourd. I can look at it and say, yeah, this is how it is. I see the uselessness of it for me. Other people may find it useful. Fine, have it, take it. Samsara is not a thing. It's a series of complex and dysfunctional relationships, which is the dried gourd right now. And so, I don't have a truck with it. I don't want it. Why? Because I have discovered myself. raso vaisaha rasagrihyevayam labdhva nandi bhavati. Taittiriya Upanishad says that the juice is here. Literally, rasa. This Atma is the rasa, is the sara of everything. Samsara looks interesting. Why? Because of the presence of Atma, what we are looking in the Bhagavad Gita as Sad Buddhi, that Sat is there. That's why it is juicy. But then when I realize that juice is not coming from there, but it is coming from here, like the dog and the bone story. The dog thinks that the bone is juicy. Bone is not juicy. Its gums are bleeding. That's why it's finding that the bone is juicy, because it's drinking its own blood and thinking it is coming from the bone. Similarly, the samsari makes a transference onto this samsara, which is nissara, which is like a dried gourd. Alabuhu iva. Adi Shankara will say. Adi Shankara's example, alabuhu, just bobs up and down in water if you keep it. So this dried gourd like samsara, I had put so much investment in it because I thought this is the cause of my joy. I thought this is the cause of my liberation. I thought this is the cause, this is the ticket to my contentment. Now I find that I am the ticket to my own contentment. I don't need to rely on this dried gourd, so I can let that go. So saying, they vishanti, they enter and abide in their own heart, which is filled with the light of the Shastra. They revel in themselves. Very, very beautiful mantra. This mantra and the second one are used to chant when a sannyasi is invited to the home or to any public place or something like that. This is the mantra that is chanted, and one pot filled with water is offered. Purna Kumbha it is called, because that pot represents the Purnatvam, the fullness, the wholeness, that is the that the sannyasi, the person of knowledge, represents. Next one. Vedanta Vijnana Sunishchitarthaha. Vedanta Vijnana Sunishchitarthaha. Sannyasa Yogadyataya Shuddha Sattvaha. Sannyasa Yogadyataya Shuddha Sattvaha. Shall we try that again? Sannyasa Yogadyataya Shuddha Sattvaha. Sannyasa Yogadyataya Shuddha Sattvaha. Te Brahmalokeshu Parantakale. Te Brahmalokeshu Parantakale. Paramritav Parimucyanti Sarve. So how did these people enter into the glorious space of their own heart, as it were? Meaning, how did these people start to abide in themselves? That is the question. How did these people start to abide in themselves? How did these people live this knowledge? Is it something by fluke it happened? Or their guru did something, some magic, like bopped them on the head with a whole lot of peacock feathers. Instant coffee, no, moksha. Okay, instant moksha like instant coffee. Is that what happened? No. This second verse makes, takes away all the guesswork here. Demystifies moksha completely. Vedanta Vijnana Sunishchitartha. Vedanta Vijnanena Sunishchita Arthaha. This is not what they did, but this is describing the people. Who are these people? These are the people who are sunishchitarthaha, for whom the artha, the meaning, the commitment, the purport of the Upanishad is well ascertained. Sunishchita. So these are the people for whom the purport of the Upanishad, the meaning of the word Upanishad, etc., is extremely well ascertained. It's almost like their own name. Just like you can't forget your own name and you understand what is the meaning of your own name, similarly, for them, this is just like the truth of themselves in which they abide. How did they get this? They got it through Vedanta Vijnanat, through the study of the knowledge of Vedanta. Vijnanam, Jnanam, same here. Vedanta Vijnana Sunishchita, Dridha Nishchayaha. Dridha Nishchayaha means for whom there is no doubt this is the way. There is no doubt this is exactly what has happened here to incur my transformation. My transformation into a person who abides in the truth of myself is not because of this, that or the other. It's because of the study of Vedanta. And the words of Vedanta, about that also they are not in doubt. They are not thinking, Tattvamasi, maybe it's not for everybody. And maybe some people Atattvamasi, some people Tattvamasi. They are not doubting it. There is no doubt. Maybe some portions of the Upanishad I can take selectively. Other portions I can discard. No. Sunishchitartha. They understand that this has what has helped them to do this, and they therefore are completely abiding in the knowledge of Vedanta. And then on top of that, their lifestyle is that of sannyasa. Because they have studied Vedanta, sannyasa has come naturally to them. How does their sannyasa come naturally to them? Because they see the nissara, how nissara the samsara is. So naturally they don't want to do anything. They don't want to be engaged. There is a very powerful vakya in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Atmanam ched vijaniyat ayamasmi iti purushah tat kimartham kasya kamaya shariram anusanjvaret. Atmanam ched vijaniyat. If one knows the Atma. Adi Shankara gives a big bhashya for the word if, chet. Why? Because he says it's not easy to know the Atma because of the addiction to samsara, because of all the restlessness one has, because of all the thick ajnanam and anyatha jnanam, etc. Therefore, if, because there are so many inner resistances, blocks, etc., so we say, if one knows the Atma, meaning the ones who have been able to overcome this resistance and they have found the Atma, they have understood the truth of themselves, if one knows the Atma, then as what? Ayamasmi. This Purusha, Ayamasmi, Ayam Purusha, Ahamasmi. This Purusha, this Bhagavan which I used to worship, this Bhagavan who I thought was I am being overruled by, this Bhagavan full of Aishwarya, Jnanam, everything, this Bhagavan which I thought was far away from me, I am non-separate from that Bhagavan. I am that Bhagavan. There is no other Bhagavan. The one who ascertains this properly, then tataha kimartham, for what purpose? Kasya kamaya, to fulfill whose desire? Shariram, the body, anusanjvaret, makes the body feverishly respond to various stimuli in the world. So this describes all the pursuits. Dharma, artha, kama pursuits are feverish pursuits. Why? Samsara is already gives you fever, and so in samsara whatever you pursue is a feverish pursuit full of jvara. Jvara means fever. Samsara is jvara. That's why it's called bhava roga. It's a disease. And if you want to have any truck with samsara, and this samsara jvara is contagious, so all the people in samsara are what? Sick. No, not everybody is sick. Everybody is sick. Mentally sick, if not physically sick. Yes. Emotionally, definitely sick. Because we are reproducing the finitude infinitely. What do you call a person who does the same thing over and over again and expects a different outcome? What will you call them? Tell me, honestly. Mad. That's what you will call them. And same, the samsara is characterized by doing the same thing over and over and over and over again and expecting a miraculously different outcome. How is this possible? How is this possible? And so anybody engaged in that is sick, must be having fever, because they are not themselves. You have to go like this. Are you feeling okay? Let me touch your forehead and see if you're all right. Because sometimes the fever goes to the head, people start behaving deliriously. This is the delirium of samsara. And so for the person who knows, I am this Purusha, there's nothing else I need to do, nowhere to go, nothing to do, nobody to see, nothing to gain, nothing to lose. For the person who knows this, what kind of relationship will they have with samsara? They won't even be able to look at it. So they see all these people feverishly going about. They say, I have 98.6 normal temperature. I don't have fever. Anusanjvaranam means that there is already a feverish activity going on here. I am not going in keeping with that. Anu means in keeping with that fever, I am not going to respond. And then in that same samsara, people are crying, I have no break, I am overworked, I am underpaid, I don't have a day off. Okay, leave your job. What do you mean? How can I leave my job? Okay, then just keep working. You need to. How can I keep working? Don't you see my job? If this is not jvara, mental jvara, what else is? Tell me. You give them the option. Chhod do. Nahi, I can't leave. Okay, continue. No, how? You must be so cruel. You are asking me to continue. You don't know my work situation. You can replace the example of work situation with marriage, with children, with everything. Same thing. Yeah. It's like having, so this person suddenly took some hot ghee in the mouth. Swallow it. Too hot. Spit it out. Too costly. This is what it is. If this is not some kind of a, what should I say, illness, I don't know what is. And so, kimartham, for what purpose? Kasya kamaya, to fulfill what desire? Shariram anusanjvaret. Why will I put my body, mind, sense complex through this kind of a madness when I have nothing to gain from that? Back to the image of alabuhu. What is alabuhu? Gourd. Dry gourd. So I have to start seeing samsara as a dry gourd. Homework for today. Start looking at everything that attracts ultimately as a dry gourd. The Atma Bodha, the writer in the Atma Bodha goes one more step. He says, start looking around as a homework. He also gives homework, and he says, start having mild disgust towards all the things. Then you say, okay, what is mild disgust? How does that look like? Please explain mild disgust. And he very obligingly explains, the writer. Says, you're going for a walk by the Ganga. You pass a few trees. What happens? Above are some crows, and they bless your shoulder. Oh, they come and sit on the shoulder? No such thing. No, no such thing. They bless your shoulder with dropping. And then you forget the walk. You're disgusted. I want to get this off. Where is water? You'll search for water. There is no water. And then you go straight to the Ganga, and then you are only happy after you wash off the crow dropping. Yatha kakavishta. Kakavishta means crow dropping. So this is not just only one Upanishad. All the Vedanta Shastras talk about, as one is growing in this knowledge, to cultivate a mild vairagya, mild disgust towards all the objects of enjoyment, by reminding ourselves that those objects in themselves are finite, and what is the most enjoyable is myself alone. So these people, who are they? These sannyasa yogat, because of their tyaga, you can take it metaphorically, or because of sannyasa alone, you can take it like that. And so then sannyasa yogat yatayah shuddha sattvaha. Shuddha sattvaha means whose hearts have been purified by living a life of discipline. Shuddha sattva. Shuddha antakarana. Shuddha antakarana. Antakaranam yasya. Shuddham antakaranam yasya, for whom this antakarana has been cleansed of all kinds of nonsensical and clawing, clinging desires. It has been totally cleansed. These are the people. And then and then what happens? Te brahmalokeshu parantakale. So te brahmalokeshu parantakale paramritaha parimuchyanti sarve. Te brahmalokeshu means plural, because it is in their own hearts. It's not some loka somewhere. That's why it is plural. Te brahmalokeshu. In this brahmaloka, which is their own heart, they live. And then after the dropping of the body, the desires do not rise, and they also do not need to take rebirth anymore after the dropping of the body. Paramritaha, they are already liberated. Parimuchyanti sarve, they get liberated even from this body. So first, what do they have? We'll see this tomorrow in greater detail. First, they have what is called Jivan Mukti. Jivan Mukti means seeing the madness of samsara and not participating in the madness, because one has been liberated through Vedanta Vijnana, through the knowledge of Vedanta. This is called Jivan Mukti, because the prarabdha continues, so to speak. The jnani doesn't think prarabdha continues. He or she doesn't even think this is my body. But for the onlookers, from the standpoint of the law of karma, the prarabdha continues, and with the prarabdha continuing, the body will be there, and then for everybody to see and interact, and for the person themselves to continue to enjoy being who they are. And with the dropping of the body, the prana does not rise again. Natasya pranaha utkramanti. What does this mean? We'll see tomorrow. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Nasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi